Busyness is not a leading indicator of success. Working 18 hours a day, barely eking out 4 hours of sleep a night, cramming your schedule full with a dozen back-to-backs and an inbox overflowing with 12,586 unread messages is not something to be proud of. Listen, one of the greatest fallacies of our time is that the busier you are, the more successful you will be. In what world does burning your candle at both ends and cramming your schedule so full that you have to plan out your bathroom breaks equate to success? It doesn't. Truly successful people have the freedom to not be busy. Those who have achieved successes know how to say no. And here's what gets me. The same people that boast of the busyness in pursuit of their success ironically toss around the same mantra of work smarter, not harder. So which is it? Be busy or work smarter? Is it the 60-hour work week or Tim Ferriss's 4-hour work week? Well, let's unpack that. I remember early in my career when I was a top executive at a venture-backed startup, I boasted how many hours I worked. Sending that email to the team timestamped at 2:27 a.m. once felt like a sense of pride and accomplishment. There was even this one time I was sitting with a friend and I felt the need to brag just to let him know that I would work an 80-hour week. How ridiculous. That's either 16-hour days 5 days a week or working almost 12 hours all 7 days of the week. That's not a badge of honor, nor is that a sign that you are on the path to success. Honestly, it's the opposite. Get this, the World Health Organization did a study in collaboration with the International Labor Organization. Overworking has become such a commonplace concern that it has actually been deemed an international health crisis. This study uncovered startling findings about the physical health concerns that are born out of being overly busy when it comes to work. Namely, those who work 55 hours or more in a given week are 35% more likely to have a stroke and have a 17% higher chance of dying from ischemic heart disease compared to those who work 40 hours or less. A Harvard Business Review article by Sarah Green Carmichael further amplifies this message by citing countless studies, all pointing to the fact that working long hours actually backfires and in turn, you become less effective. Carmichael recaps a study looking at consultants in an 80-hour work week. It revealed that the output of those who worked 80 hours was the same, or get this, even less than those who worked half the time. You see, we are not built to be working machines that can run 24/7. Listen, there is a difference between busyness and hard work. While unnecessary busyness may be an impediment to success, hard work is a requirement for greatness. Let me be very clear. In no way am I advocating for sitting back and being a beach bum and hoping that freeing your life of a hectic schedule will lead you to freedom. No, to the contrary, to achieve any level of success, no matter how you define it, you must put in the hard work. Let's unpack 3 fallacies of busyness and explore ways to add back balance to your life. The first fallacy is that busyness is a leading indicator of success. This is simply false. Your crammed schedule of back-to-back meetings is not a predictor that you will ultimately be successful. If a CEO is in 16 back-to-back 30-minute meetings in a given day, when do they have time to build culture, to cast vision, or to even eat lunch? It's not helpful. Let's think about salespeople for a minute. A packed calendar of demos is great for salespeople. That means people are interested and your marketing team is crushing it. However, if you're too busy doing back-to-back demos, what happens? You don't have time to make notes, to conduct follow-up, or to follow through. You begin to get robotic in regurgitating the same sales pitch over and over and over again. As a result, you completely ignore the prospective customer's questions because you are too busy to slow down and just listen. At some point, though your calendar is jam-packed, your close rate may actually begin to slide backwards because you are dropping the ball. Busyness can actually have grave consequences. Think about a doctor. If a doctor at a hospital is working too many hours, they literally hold people's lives in their hands. A literature review conducted by the BMC Health Service Research concluded that overworking and busyness amongst healthcare providers increases adverse patient outcomes. This correlation further solidifies the fact that busyness is not only harmful to you, but it can be harmful to those that you lead and those that are in your care. The Journal of American Medicine Association showed that doctors prescribed 26% more antibiotics when they were exhausted or overworked. The research specifically showed that tiredness, particularly due to busyness, can lead to a deteriorated ability to make effective decisions. Busyness is in no way a leading indicator of success. The second fallacy that often spurs on busyness is the importance of quantity versus quality. Made popular by the baby boomer generation, being the first to work and the last to leave was almost this badge of honor. Those clamoring after the next rung on the corporate ladder would often extend their hours to try and make a positive impression on their boss. Quantity is not better than quality. The quantity of meetings on your schedule or the number of days you're on the road is not correlated to the quality of your business or your life. Think about automotive manufacturing for a minute. If you were to buy an Aston Martin or a Rolls-Royce, besides buying the prestige of one of these vehicles, you are buying a handmade vehicle where every detail has been carefully handcrafted to perfection. If you compare that to a Toyota Corolla, you are talking about a car that is the most manufactured car of all time. Now, there's nothing wrong with a Corolla. However, when you're comparing quality versus quantity, there's a direct correlation when it comes to value. That's important. Quality almost always commands more value than quantity. And so the same is true with busyness. The final fallacy is that busyness equates to hard work. There's a fine line between hustling and busyness. Sure, when you're launching a new company or in the thick of scaling your brand, you'll feel busy, but there's a big difference between hustling and busy. I think back to when I played soccer. My coach would stand on the sideline and yell, "Hustle!" Usually it was yelled with a clear objective in mind: move towards the ball or get open, but it was all about moving purposefully and swiftly. That's hustle. Busyness is about being occupied or consumed with the many activities, often to the point of feeling overwhelmed or stressed. Busyness is not productive. Often I find that busy people fill their plates with travel and meetings and events and calendar appointments and other tasks that may not be important and rarely contribute to their actual goals. Typically, I see busy people as reactive and not proactive. They are quick to respond to external demands that seem important in the moment, but don't strategically lead to their overall goal. On the other hand, hustling usually implies a more proactive and driven approach to work. It's the word my coach yelled to get us to do something in particular that moved us closer to winning the game. Hustling is often associated with working hard, smart, and with a clear purpose. It is about being productive, focused, and persistent in pursuing goals, often with an entrepreneurial or creative spirit. The emphasis here is on effective work, not just busy work. At the end of the day, while busyness can be about simply having a lot to do, hustling is about purposefully and effectively working towards specific goals. Hustling involves prioritizing tasks, being efficient, and often requires strategic thinking and planning. It's also typically associated with a positive and ambitious attitude towards work and success. Listen, hard work is important, and I'm a huge advocate of working hard. At the same time, I am anti-busyness. Here are some quick questions to help you fight off busyness and be more intentional. First, is this activity strategic and aligned with helping me achieve my overall goals? And second, if I say no to this activity, will it set me backwards in pursuit of achieving success? If the answer to the first question is no, then stop there. You don't need to do it. Today, look for ways to eliminate busyness from your schedule.